Alright, bitrate looks like it's better. Now you guys can watch Nero and Sid kiss in high definition. Skip. Skip. I will say, I wasn't, like, looking forward to Omega stuff, because I'm like, okay, cool, it's a big tech weapon. But Nero and Dragon Dad are back, so I'm on board with this raid series. He's gonna chill until the cube hatches. Oh, I need Carbuncle. Okay. See it started on stream today. Cool. I hope it's a good one. That's it's a pixel remaster, right? Or a HD 2D game. Okay. Yeah. Yellow version. Uh... Dragons! Cool. Yes, I know you sure are Nero, but I sense a formidable presence. That's our goal, the Delta Escape, if I'm not mistaken. What do you think's waiting for us in there? Omega said that it groups subjects by dimension. If the creatures we fought on the way were merely intended to separate the wheat from the chaff, it would seem certain that far greater challenges await inside these egg-like objects, our fellow test subjects, most like. But I'm not certain what to make of that castle. Could it somehow be connected to the subjects? Queh! Alpha, hold on a moment. Shouldn't either one or the other of us be translucent? Subjects confirmed to have arrived at the Delta Escape. Analysis is complete. Congratulations, you are approved for participation. Your strength places you in the self-same tier as Alpha, the feeblest and farthest removed from myself. Nevertheless, you are now fully fledged test subjects. Welcome, weakest of challengers. As corporeal life forms, you need not undergo development within a test world. Instead, you may use this space freely. Not quite which I would have chosen, but one must make do. Speaking of which, what is it that we're supposed to do exactly? You are to enter the Delta Escape and defeat all test subjects within. Please note, however, that strength in numbers will not be acknowledged. There is a strict limit upon how many entities may participate in combat. Only a small party may have this existential authorization transferred from Alpha. Good luck. So the eggs do contain our fellow test subjects, as I predicted, eh, Garland? Before we turn our thoughts to the Deltascape, I suggest we set up a base of operations here. Okay, good. We can leave at any time. Good for us. It's somewhat cobbled together, but this should suffice as a base of operations. Take heart, old friend. Though every step we take seems to raise more questions, we wade through this mire of mysteries eventually. Of that I have no doubt. Right then, what to do next? We know that Omega is conducting tests to determine the strongest being, but we do not know its ultimate purpose, nor even its exact whereabouts. Plainly, however, it's within Omega's powers to curtail our stay here whensoever it chooses. Accordingly, we have little choice but to proceed as bidden and defeat the test subjects waiting in the Deltascape. Well, Alpha certainly seems keen, though it might be best if you left the fighting to others, little one. That is, of course, assuming others are willing. What say you, old friend? This promises to be a most entertaining foray. I would not dream of missing any part of it. You may rely on me to provide you with remote support. With commendable foresight, I took the liberty of borrowing various monitors that were lying around and extract all the information I can from them. It's a pity none of us speak Chocobo. As I recall, though, we are supposed to have Alpha transfer his authorization to us prior to engaging in combat. In which case, you'll need him to accompany you into the Deltascape. See to your preparations and proceed when you're ready. Alpha appears eager to proceed. You may enter the Deltascape V1.0 whenever you are ready. Deltascape V1.0 now accessible. Should I... I'm gonna run to the bathroom and then we'll try and do one of these. I think I have enough time to do one before I head to work. So, BRB. Okay. So let's see. I actually don't know if we have time to do an Omega. But we'll try. Let's go for a fast queue time, because I got no friends right now. Average item... Oh, shit. I can't actually do it. Oh! And then let's... I'm a doofus. I never saved my gear sets. Oh. Well, I guess we're not going to do that right now. We'll mess with that later. I didn't save my gear sets. So I realized every time I was changing jobs, I was going back to weaker armor because I never actually saved the updated armor that I put onto it. No, I did. I'm saying I hit recommended gear and I never saved that, so whenever I would swap classes, it would go back to the gear I had before I hit recommended gear. Greetings. 'Twould seem we are to accompany Armbald, some matter of escapade. Have you any idea what we've gotten ourselves into? Allow me to explain. It'll be something of a history lesson, but it'll be brief. No snoring, if you please. Now, in the events I would speak of occurred before the occupation, back when Alamigo was still a monarchy. Theodric sat on the throne. A uniquely brutal despot by all accounts. That he was. The King of Ruin suffered no rivals, real or imagined, and his dispute with the monks of the Fist ended with Rhalgr's Reach being burned to the ground. The latter years of his rule, he was seized by the unshakable belief that unseen forces were conspiring to steal his crown, and so he ordered that every soul with a claim to the throne be executed, including his own family. The wealth of the poor sods he put to death became the property of the king, and it's said that the royal treasures were hoarded somewhere in the palace. Thus was born the legend of the Mad King's Trove. I believe I see the direction our adventure is to take. I assume you have a mind to unearth this hidden bounty? You assume correctly. And it would also be correct in assuming that this legend is widely known. Others must surely have gone in to search for your prize, tempting as it seems. Well, of course, we won't be the first to make the attempt. Following Alamigo's liberation, more than a few eager soldiers turned the palace upside down in hopes of claiming an easy fortune. But even after scouring every room from dawn till dusk, they uncovered not a single coin. Their gold lust drained away as quickly as it had come, and the legend of the Mad King's Trove remains simply that, a legend. What? Why would you assume that Garlemald hasn't found it? Like, they occupied that castle for 20 years. Why would you think that they didn't find it? But I see you have no intention of letting the story end there. What self-respecting adventurer would? Imagine the three of us delving into decades-old mystery. Tell me that thought doesn't send your heart racing. I've learned the emote box. Anyone can find treasure, it's us, but even if we don't, the adventure will be reward enough, I reckon. The news of Doma and Alamigo's liberation has kindled the flames of revolution in every corner of the Empire. I hear the Imperial province of Dalmasca has already risen up in rebellion. Ah, Dalmasca! I only played Final Fantasy XII briefly, but I am aware I am so-and-so of Dalmasca. Which means the Garleans must surely have their hands full. What better time now than to indulge in such a diversion? Tell us, Arnvald, do we have any clue where to begin our search? Judging by how our treasure hunters fared, nosing about the palace isn't likely to get us anywhere, so we'll probably need to, ask around. Would that be another way of saying no? In any case, I shall pay a visit to the Allied Archivists and request access to the records seized from the Imperials. The Garleans are meticulous about such things. If they uncovered the trove during their occupation, the event is certain to have been recorded. In the meantime, the two of you can track down those who worked as palace servants and officials in Theodric's day. Given that they would have been at least 20 at the time, you'll be looking for people who have seen 40 summers or more. Anything they can tell you about the king and his bloody deeds may prove useful, so be sure to listen well. Arnvald, pray try your luck in the fringes and the peaks while missing makes the rounds in the Alamigan quarter. Here I was thinking I was the party leader, not that I mind, of course. Let's see about it, eh? We can meet afterwards at Gilbard's Gate. I'm aware that it's not Final Fantasy XII's Dalmasca, but I know I am what's-his-face of Dalmasca. It's a meme. The Ivalice I know is the Final Fantasy Tactics Advance Ivalice. Palace? Oh, not me, lad. Surely you've heard the stories of the Mad King. He used to hold public executions up to the upon the divine audience. Anyone, and I mean anyone, suspected of conspiring against the crown was flung from the top of those steps. Suffice to say that I stayed far away from the palace as possible. Okay, it bugs me. Being here, I realize just how large the doors here are compared to people. And it makes me wonder if, like, they modeled this city to be smaller, but we're like, shit, wait, no, we need it to be wider. Make it large, increase, embigify. You want to hear old maid stories, do you? Well, most of what I know of the Mad King is common knowledge. We'd only seen his royal majesty when he deigned to attend the executions he'd ordered, and after a while, even watching his enemies die wasn't enough to coax him out of hiding. They say that he started seeing assassins in every shadow and wouldn't set foot outside the palace walls. I was offered to work there as a royal servant once, but the mere thought of it left me in a cold sweat. I served as at the pleasure of King Theodric and lived to tell the tale. One of the palace guards I was. Truth be told, it was a dark chapter in my life and one I'd sooner forget. Hardly a night went by when we didn't hear blood-curdling screams echoing from the inner chambers, which, of course, we were under orders to ignore. So we'd stand still as statues, trying not to imagine what horrors were unfolding within. If you're hell's bent on finding what happened to the palace, head down the street and ask old Ernold. He was the king's head scribe. My alarm telling me I work pretty soon. I'm Arnold. What do you want with me? You would have me dredge up some decidedly unsavory memories. Yet if All Amigo is to move forward, we must needs acknowledge the misdeeds of the past. I shall tell you what I remember. I take you know of Theodoric's paranoia and public executions of his kinsmen. Those were terrible enough, but in his last days, the king's fevered mind settled upon an even grislier method of disposal, which only a chosen few were unfortunate enough to witness. His Majesty ordered the court thaumaturge to unleash a vile curse upon the remaining members of the royal family, a magic which transformed them into fiends of hideous aspect. The resulting monstrosities were cast into the darkness below the palace. Even now, my sleep is troubled by nightmares. If others of Theodoric's blood were prone to share his madness, then mayhap it's a kindness that the monarchy ended with him. What am I doing? So we're all here. Why don't we share what we learned? Allow me to begin. As promised, I scoured the Imperial records for any mention of fantastic treasures and found precisely none. It is just possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact of the trove's discovery, hoping to enrich himself, but I find it rather unlikely that so valuable a find would stay secret for long. I conclude that our prize either does not exist, or the Imperials somehow overlooked it. What of you? Are your investigations any more fruitful? Turn into monsters? And what can it mean by this darkness beneath the palace, I wonder? I met an old man in Algiers who spoke of the palace's subterranean prison, but he said not of cursed abominations. The Imperial archives were also silent on the subject of fiends inside the palace grounds. Could the scribe fellow have been spinning a yarn, do you think? Do you believe him? His fears seem genuine. He was afraid. That does lend credence to the tale, though I'm not sure how that helps us in our search. Do not be so hasty. Arnold's anecdote may very well have told us where the trove is hidden, but ere shall I share my theory, there is some matter I would clarify. Arnvald, you spoke of light-hearted adventure, but I sense deeper motive for this expedition. Why are you so intent on finding this treasure? It wasn't all pretense, I swear it, but you're right. My father was in the Imperial Army, and a man of Garlean blood. I trust you know what I mean when I say that my Alamegan mother did not welcome my arrival. Oh, fun. As I grew, she would check on my brow over and over, convinced that a spot on my skin was an emerging third eye, like the kind you see in pureblood Garleans. My mother did not care for this taunting reminder of my heritage, and took up a knife. War paint serves to cover the scar. In the end, she turned me out to the street, and I was left to haunt the alleyways of Alamigo, a feral child who got what he needed through begging, cunning, or worse. The best I can say about the years that followed is that I survived, but I hated the animal I'd become. Eventually, I left the city behind me and joined a group of refugees bound for the other side of the wall. It was then that I turned to adventuring, and the road led me to the company of the Scions. I tell you this so you understand. I know all too well what poverty and hunger can do to a person. I drew steel on ordinary folk for a measly crust of bread. With Theodoric's gold, I could spare my countrymen the shame of living like that. Thank you, Arnvald. I apologize. That cannot have been pleasant to recall, but I felt it best to clear our intentions. Well, are you content to surrender the treasure of Arnvald's noble cause and claim the thrill of adventure as your to Arnvald's noble cause and claim the thrill of adventure as your reward? I should be glad to tell you my theory on the resting place of the Mad King's trove, if you are of a mind to hear it. Uh... Yeah, but it would be better if we first adjourn to a more suitable location. In case of arrival, treasure hunt over here is our plans, you mean? Good thinking. It's not exactly the reason, but 'tis certainly a valid concern. Let's reconvene in the southern end of Lochseld. Okay, we're done here for now, though. I've got to get to work. So, let's see. Let us go... Let's raid Mogtalk. Oh, they're doing raids that I have not played. Let's not, actually. Let's raid Digibunny. Thank you guys for hanging out. Raid message, you found the missing persons. I should be live tomorrow. But until next time, I will be seeing you guys later. If you're on YouTube, it's twitch.tv/Digibunny. Thanks again for hanging out, and I will catch you all.